Hey everyone, welcome back to Mr. English Podcast. I'm Emma.
And I'm James. And today's episode is, well, sort of about something really important.
Okay, and that sort of right there is actually today's entire topic, ladies and gentlemen.
Exactly. Today we're talking about hedge words. Those wonderfully vague little phrases like sort of, kind of, rather, and quite. The secret weapons native speakers use to sound natural, polite, and just delightfully indirect.
Delightfully indirect. I love that description. Because honestly, native English speakers are professional hedgers. It's basically a national sport in some countries.
It really is. Especially in Britain, where saying it's quite good can secretly mean anything from I genuinely enjoyed it to please never make me eat this again.
Okay, that is painfully accurate. And actually, that's exactly the story I want to start with today, because this happened to me, and it was kind of a disaster.
Oh no, here we go.
So, I had a friend, a very proper British friend, cook dinner for me. And afterward, she looked at me so hopeful and asked, "So, what did you think?" And I said, "I thought it was quite nice, actually."
Oh no, Emma.
I know. I genuinely thought quite nice was a huge compliment. Like, wow, quite means very, right? So I got so excited, I said, "Oh, really? You thought it was amazing?" And she just went very quiet and said, "Well," I said, "quite nice."
The classic British devastating understatement. And you completely missed the hidden meaning.
Completely missed it. Turns out, in her voice, in that context, quite nice basically meant it was fine. I probably won't make it again. I had accidentally translated polite hedging into full-blown enthusiasm.
That is such a perfect, painful example of exactly why hedge words trip learners up so much. These words look small and simple on paper, but they're actually carrying enormous emotional and social weight underneath.
Exactly. And that's the real problem, isn't it? Textbooks teach you the dictionary definition, but nobody teaches you the emotional temperature hiding inside these tiny words.
Right. And here's the reframe I want everyone to hold on to for today's whole episode. Stop thinking of hedge words as weak or unclear language. Start thinking of them as social cushions, soft little pillows you place under a sentence so it doesn't land too hard.
Social cushions. Ooh, I like that. So instead of a sentence smacking someone directly in the face with bluntness, it gently, softly lands.
Exactly. A bare, direct sentence like, this is bad, can feel like a slap. But this is kind of bad suddenly has a cushion underneath it. It feels softer, more human, more conversational.
Okay, so let's actually unpack these one at a time, because I think everyone deserves to understand these little cushions properly, especially after what happened to me at that dinner party.
Absolutely. Let's start with our first hedge word, kind of. This phrase softens a statement, making it less absolute, less definite. It basically means somewhat, or to some extent, without fully committing to the full strength of the word.
So instead of saying, "I'm tired," which sounds very final, very dramatic, you could say, "I'm kinda tired," which sounds much more casual, much lighter.
Exactly. And here's a fun trick. Kind of is incredibly useful for softening opinions you're not totally sure about. Like, I kinda liked that movie. Meaning, I liked it, but don't hold me fully accountable for that opinion at dinner parties.
Don't hold me fully accountable. That's basically the entire emotional function of this phrase, isn't it?
Basically, yes. It's a built-in escape hatch for your own opinions. Okay, second hedge word, sort of, which honestly works almost identically to kind of, and native speakers use them practically interchangeably.
Exactly.
Sort of also means somewhat or to a certain degree, and it's brilliant for softening statements you're not 100% confident about. Like, I sort of understand the assignment, which really means I understand about 60% of it. Please don't quiz me.
Oh, please don't quiz me. Honestly, the unofficial motto of every hedge word in the English language.
It really should be printed on a t-shirt. And here's a fun little detail. Sort of and kind of also work beautifully as a full response on their own. Someone asks, "Do you like jazz?" And you can just say, "Sort of." No further explanation required. Oh, I do that constantly, actually. It's such a satisfying little non-committal answer.
It really is. A whole personality hidden in two tiny words. Okay, third hedge word. And this one's a bit fancier. Rather.
Ooh, rather always sounds so posh to me, like it's wearing a little bow tie.
It kind of is the bow tie of hedge words. Very true. Rather means to a certain degree, similar to quite, but it often carries a slightly more formal, slightly more surprised tone. Like, that's rather unusual, which suggests genuine mild surprise, without being overly dramatic about it.
So instead of shouting, "That is so strange," you calmly say, "That's rather strange," while sipping tea.
Exactly. While sipping tea. That's the exact energy. Rather also works beautifully as an intensifier for politeness. Like, I'd rather not, which is such a gentle way of saying no without slamming a door in someone's face.
I'd rather not is honestly one of my favorite phrases. It's firm, but so incredibly polite at the same time.
It really is a masterclass in saying no nicely. Okay, and finally, our fourth hedge word, quite. The one that got me into so much trouble at your friend's dinner party, Emma.
The villain of today's episode, everyone. Quite.
The villain indeed. So here's the tricky part about quite. It actually has two completely different strengths depending on context and delivery, which is exactly what caused your dinner party disaster. Sometimes quite means very, a genuinely strong compliment. Like, that was quite brilliant, said with real enthusiasm and energy.
But other times?
Other times, especially in that flat, calm, slightly reserved British tone, quite actually means somewhat, but not amazingly. Like your friend's quite nice dinner comment.
So the actual words are identical, but the emotional temperature completely flips depending on tone and energy?
Exactly, which is honestly the trickiest part of hedge words in general. The words themselves are simple, but the delivery carries all the real information.
Okay, that is such an important insight and honestly kind of terrifying for learners.
A little terrifying, yes, but don't worry. Here's the practical technique that fixes this entire problem. We call it temperature checking.
Ooh, tell me everything.
So, whenever you hear a hedge word like quite, rather, sort of, or kind of, don't just listen to the word itself. Listen to three things around it: the speed of delivery, the pitch, whether it rises or falls, and the facial expression, if you can see it. A flat, slow, falling, quite nice, with a small pause afterward, usually signals polite disappointment. A quick, bright, rising, quite amazing usually signals real enthusiasm.
So it's basically detective work. You're not just listening to words, you're reading the whole emotional scene.
Exactly. Hedge words are basically emotional camouflage, and temperature checking is how you see through it.
Emotional camouflage. I love that description so much. Okay, and what about actually using these words ourselves as learners? Any tips there?
Absolutely. And here's a fun rule of thumb. When in doubt, hedge downward rather than upward. If you're not sure how strong to make a compliment or an opinion, it's almost always safer, socially, to slightly undersell it with kind of or sort of, rather than oversell it. Undersold compliments rarely offend anyone, but overenthusiastic ones can occasionally feel a little insincere or over the top.
That's such a good practical rule, honestly. When in doubt, undersell it.
It's basically the golden rule of hedge words. And here's a bonus stealable phrase for any awkward moment. If you're ever unsure how to answer honestly without hurting someone's feelings, just say, "It was kind of interesting," with a friendly smile. It's vague enough to be diplomatically safe, but warm enough to not feel like an insult.
Oh, that is such a lifesaver of a phrase. Kind of interesting. It basically works for literally every uncomfortable situation. Terrible movies, questionable haircuts, mysterious dinner dishes.
Especially questionable haircuts, honestly. That phrase alone could save several friendships.
Okay, so let's recap today's 4 hedge words for everyone listening. Kind of and sort of, basically twins, both meaning somewhat. Perfect for softening opinions you're not fully committing to. Rather, a slightly fancier, more surprised cousin. Great for polite refusals, like, I'd rather not. And quite, the tricky chameleon of the group, meaning either very or somewhat, entirely depending on tone and delivery.
Beautifully recapped. And honestly, once you start noticing these 4 little words, you'll hear them absolutely everywhere. In shows, in conversations, in every single polite disagreement you overhear on the street.
It's honestly wild how much emotional information is hiding inside such tiny words.
It really is. And that's the whole beauty of English. So much of the real meaning lives in tone, not vocabulary.
Okay, well, funny enough, I actually used rather properly just yesterday without even thinking about it. Someone offered me a slice of this very suspicious looking cake at the office, and instead of my old blunt self going, "No, thank you," I just smoothly said, "Oh, I'd rather not, but thank you so much."
And how did that feel?
Genuinely so smooth, so natural. It didn't feel awkward or blunt at all. It just floated out politely, like I'd been saying it my whole life.
That's exactly the win we're after. Blending hedge words in so naturally that nobody even notices you're doing it on purpose.
Okay, I think that is such a perfect, delightfully vague note to wrap up today's episode on.
Agreed. So here's your homework, if you want it, everyone. Today, try swapping just one blunt sentence for a hedged version. Instead of, "I don't like it," try, "I'm not sure I love it." Instead of, "No," try, "I'd rather not, actually."
Small, gentle cushions, one sentence at a time. And genuinely, thank you so much for spending this time with us today. If you've ever had your own quite nice dinner party disaster like me, drop a comment and tell us. We would absolutely love to laugh about it together.
We really do read every single one, and honestly, they're always kinda hilarious.
Kind of hilarious. See, you're already doing it.
Look at that, natural hedging in real time. Take care of your English, and maybe take it a little easy on your poor British dinner hosts.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.